As the 10th season for the Fond du Lac Duck Spiders continues to roll along, there's been good and there's been bad through the early part of the season. We're here to break it all down right here from episode 2 of the 2026 campaign for Dispatches from the Dock, presented by Computer Troubleshooters. My name is Nathan Ketelhut, taking you along for the ride. A 3-game road trip for the Fond du Lac Duck Spiders. They come off of not feeling their best. They took the first game of the road trip against the Madison Mallards, and that's kind of where we'll start this podcast. A resounding 16-8 win. It kind of felt like a football score, and the moral of the story from this one for the Duck Spiders is they were fine taking the free base. They got the opportunities to do so. They got 15 walks throughout the course of the game, a pair of home runs for the team as well. But really, the standout for this team was Luke Mayer. 8 RBIs off 4 hits, 3 of which were extra base hits. The offense could not be stopped, and that was kind of the thing the Mallards had trouble with. They ended up working a split in that series after dropping the first game of that series at home. But this showed what this team could do for the long run. I mean, you really got production all around from this team. 12 hits, 16 runs. You take those 15 walks. You show the discipline, and you're able to make sure the Mallards don't have strong arms throughout the course of that game. They used 7 different pitchers throughout the course of that game and really showed what the Duck Spiders can do when hitting their best. They showed it off completely in that one. And our Parker Porrill got the chance to talk things over with Sam Fonder after the big win over the Madison Mallards just a few days ago.
Dock Spiders win at the Tuck Pond in dramatic fashion, 16-8. Such a triumphant win where Dock Spiders led from the bell all the way to the end. I'm here with manager Sam Fonder. Disappointing loss yesterday, but able to respond in this one. I mean, how good does it feel to take down Madison?
It feels great. They actually scored similarly in the 4th and 5th as they did yesterday. Only difference was we didn't let our foot off the gas pedal. I thought we scored 2 in the first and got a little complacent with our at-bats and got away from the approaches that have been helping us out. And today we were able to kind of stick to the game plan and work hard. And we were able to kind of lay it on, get a couple pitchers out early, and that's all you're really looking for. Their guys threw really well. We just put good swings on it today.
You mentioned the 4th and 5th being similar start as well for the Dock Spiders, putting up a pair of runs, but they were able to build on it today. What was the offense? What was the change in offense that led them to keep this consistency throughout the game?
Yeah, I think just trying to stay through and go the other way, deep in counts. So looking for your pitch to hit early in your spot, and then late knowing that they're trying to work away with fastballs and breaking balls, righty-righty, or fastballs and changeups, lefty-righty. And just kind of sitting on that, and if they burn you inside, they burn you inside, I think was the thought going into today. Obviously changes a little bit game by game, but we're able to execute that today.
To acknowledge the 8 RBI elephant in the room, Luke Mayer had an amazing game. How big was that performance to start off this season for him as well as in this game as a whole?
Yeah, really proud of Luke. And I mean, he's got a great swing, and I even talked to him in Eau Claire. He had a couple that didn't drop and a couple at bats that just didn't go his way. And I told him, your timing looks great, and you're just missing the ball. And when you unlock it, it's going to be great. And I thought maybe, that might take a week or whatever, 10 days, but it took him all of 2 days to get it fully locked in and ready to go. So really happy for him, and obviously 4 great swings today, 5 great swings today. So yeah.
Still late in May, but it's important to get these wins, especially on the road. 3-0 on the road to start. How can you translate the success with this 16-8 win as y'all have into future success?
Yeah, I think just continue to remind ourselves that we're just trying to go 1-0 that day, just trying to win the game that's in front of us, and remembering that no lead's ever safe either direction. So just keeping our foot on the gas pedal, and when things are against us, remember that we can stay in the fight and win. So games like yesterday where we're down 7-2 with 15 outs to play with, that we're able to fight back and win some more of those. And games like today where we were up 10-0, is we're able to put those away a little bit cleaner too, and not have to have Luke out there at the end throwing 3 innings to finish it off. So things like that too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Always an honor to hear from Sam Fonder. Appreciate him taking the time to sit down with Parker and this whole crew. But let's talk about what happened at Lakeshore. A little more of a sore topic for these Fond du Lac Duck Spiders. They dropped both games on the road against the Lakeshore Chinooks. We'll start with Game 1, which wasn't too pretty. It was Lakeshore who jumped up ahead early with 5 consecutive runs in the span of 3 innings, and they were playing some very pesky type baseball. They were doing the small things early to get on base and cause those mishaps, and were able to force mistakes, and that was really what kind of led to them taking that early lead. But it was the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders who stayed resilient, stayed in the game. They put one on in the 4th, make it a 4-run game, another in the 6th, another in the 8th. You're down 2 going into the 9th, and what happens there? The Dock Spiders answer the call and keep themselves in it. They put up a pair of runs and big base hits from Cole Lockwood and others, kind of putting them in the opportunities to stay in that game. But then it's the Chinooks who came through a walk-off home run for Carter Cutts, and it was the Dock Spiders who dropped that game to fall to 3-2. But shows the resiliency of this team going forward and the battle they can put together. They did it right there, and just something that just didn't go their way down the stretch. But if you're the Dock Spiders, if you're Sam Fonder, if you're fans looking in, that has to show that this team has what it takes to win those crucial games. You may not have gotten it done this time, but you know what can happen for the future, and that's what you have to stay hopeful for, is that this opportunity comes up again, but you come through on this occasion. And the final game of that road stint of the Dock Spiders taking on the Chinooks was a little bit more in the Chinooks' favor, but this one a different type of game. 5-1 Chinooks. It really wasn't too close ever since the Chinooks added on their 5th run of the game in the 7th to make that game 5-1. But it was only 3 hits for the Chinooks that got this done. It was a little shocking to see that for the Dock Spiders, their offense really was held silent. They had 6 hits, but they just couldn't put them together. But meanwhile, for Lakeshore, they scored off an error in a wild pitch in the 1st inning, and from there, it really wasn't much after that. They were able to really battle against these pitchers. They only really gave up the 4 walks. The 3 wild pitches is something you're going to work on, a pair of hit by pitches as well for the pitching staff for this Lakeshore team, this Fond du Lac team going against Lakeshore. But it was a quick game, barely over 2.5 hours, and it showed that this Lakeshore pitching staff, it was excellent from Talon Kelly and Max Muser, combined with 9 innings, just 6 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 11 punch-outs. That crew really showed off their best stuff against the Dock Spiders, and it was really tough to see for this Fond du Lac offense. They were really unable to find an answer for those last 6 innings. They were basically held silent that entire time, and it shows that this Lakeshore team is here to compete, shows how competitive this Great Lakes West is going to be this season, and how they keep fighting even when things get tough, and even when you only have 3 hits as an offense, you're still able to put up 5 runs. That's a good formula for winning, and that shows what Lakeshore can do this season. But for the Dock Spiders, you did the best you can. Your pitching staff did what you could, but it was those mistakes that are so avoidable that you need to change going forward, and that's kind of what things that Sebastian Kahn talked about with his starts coming up ahead. We'll hear from him. And Parker Porrill, once again, going to chat with him in just a moment.
Here in Mequon, Wisconsin, as the Dock Spiders take on the Lakeshore Chinooks in a Game 2 of 4 games. Here with Dock Spiders pitcher Sebastian Kahn. You get the start tomorrow, and you had the opening day start as well. How did you feel that first game went, and how do you hope to develop into tomorrow's game?
That first game, a little bit nervous coming to a new league, being in a new place, and it being the first game of the season, you sometimes don't have your best stuff right away. It took me a while to settle in, but figured it out after that. And then going into tomorrow, I think it's just getting back on my routine. I was able to get like a good full week here of rest and get a good routine of throwing in, and I think that'll just carry me in good for tomorrow.
I know it feels like it was a long time ago, but during that opening day start, faced some adversity early, but you're able to respond. Can you take us back to what made you flip the switch and start locking in and retiring batter after batter there?
Yeah, after a while, it just took me to get that feel on my fastball, on my slider, on my changeup. It was more of out of the hand and a feel thing, just getting used to being back on, a dirt mound, being back on a mound in general, and just going right after hitters instead of kind of biting.
And when it comes to this season as a whole, what are you looking to work on, improve on, and during the summer with the Dock Spiders?
Oh man, I'm just looking to learn how to pitch to better hitters. In my league, the hitters are good, but here you face the best of the best, and it's just learning how to pitch around them, get them out, and just keep shoving as long as you can.
It was a one-game sample size, but speaking to that, did you learn anything in that first game against Northwoods League competition that you'll take into this upcoming game?
Yeah, I think it's just get ahead. Don't fall behind in the account. Get ahead and throw your best stuff to them.
And when it comes to you as a player, can you give fans where you're from, what your baseball upbringing was like, and how you got to the place that you are now?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Toronto, Canada, but I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, an island right outside of Venezuela. And I just started baseball solely based because of my dad. He played cricket on the island, and he put me in the closest sport to baseball. So that's kind of where I started. And then baseball brought me to the U.S. to play in college in Iowa, and then in West Virginia, and now in the Northwoods here in Fond du Lac.
And when it comes to playing baseball, growing up in Canada, that's where you spent the majority of your childhood, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the baseball community like there, and how did it lead you to eventually get noticed to play baseball in the U.S.?
Well, in Canada, we don't really have high school baseball. We have more of travel teams. So I had to solely kind of rely on those travel teams to get me to different places in the U.S., different tournaments, and that's how really we did our recruiting and got seen by coaches there.
And when it comes to this upcoming summer, it's a chilly day out here. It's nothing compared to Toronto, right?
Yeah, no, not even close. This is probably the windiest I've ever played in so far, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, one final question for you. When it comes to your future aspirations in baseball, are there any next steps that you're looking for when it comes to continuing your career?
Yeah, so I just graduated, so now I'm just looking for any pro opportunities that come my way. I've had a couple of indie balls, a couple of MLB scouts come around and take a look, and I'm just hoping that, I put my trust in the Lord's hands, and hopefully he delivers, and, wherever he takes me, I will go.
Perfect. Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Zip.
Really good interview we got from Sebastian Kahn. Excited to see what he can do this season with the Dock Spiders. Bringing you back into dispatches from the Dock. Nathan Kettle will continue to take you along for the ride. And the Dock Spiders, a big part of their season is going to be the month of June. It's kind of make or break for that first half. And it's a big part of their season. They get these 2 games against Lakeshore here at home, trying to even up this 4-game series back at Hare Baker Field. And then it's probably the biggest game of their season, not for how the standings will go, but going to the Timber Rattlers facility, taking on the Green Bay Rockers in the I-41 showdown. Tons of eyes will be on them for that game, and one of their biggest of the year. And then a total of 4 games against Green Bay, where they'll head to Green Bay on the 3rd and 4th of June, and then back home to finish up that series. A 2-game doubleheader against Lakeshore, and then another one on the road to round off that weekend. But the big thing is I know the season just started, but if you think about it, the first half is nearly already 20% done. That's how quick it flies by in the Northwoods League. And you got to think that, again, you can get hot at the right times, but a couple tough losses to Lakeshore early on. You don't want to fall behind in the tiebreakers. You need these 2 games at home badly. You need at least one. You're still looking for your first win at home as a team, and that's kind of what you're looking for. And for this team, you've had plenty of standout players. I mean, just to name a few, Brady Blake has been excellent. He's kind of slowed down after that incredible first game. Evan Abbott has been terrific, 9 hits and just 16 at-bats. And Luke Mayer, obviously that breakout game against the Mallards, you're trying to see if there could be more consistency with him. But for this team, there's a lot to look forward to if you're a Dock Spiders fan. But really, that Green Bay series is going to be make or break. The defending champions trying to answer back arguably your biggest rival that you have on your calendar schedule. And you're going to be seeing a lot of them in this month of June. 10 games between June 2nd and June 28th against the Rockers. You're going to need to do well against them. A big series against Kalamazoo as well, spanning from the 8th to the 12th, 4 games and an off day in that stretch. A lot of big games coming up, and you need to take majority of the series. If you're winning series, you're going to be competitive in the first half and across baseball and in the Northwoods League as a whole. And I think that's what you have to kind of take in mind. Take one series, one game at a time if you're the Dock Spiders, but a lot to look forward to. Again, a lot of home games coming up, especially when 5 of your first 6 games of your season are on the road, and that is what they will look forward to. But for episode number 2 of the 2026 season of Dispatches from the Dock, Nathan Ketelhut saying so long, Dock Spiders baseball, looking to turn things around against Lakeshore in the coming days.